In a world that just never seems to stop, what if the most powerful thing you could do is, well, nothing? Today, we're diving into the simple but totally transformative act of pausing. Does this sound at all familiar? That feeling of life just being on fast forward, you've got emails piling up, notifications buzzing nonstop, and this constant sense that you're moving, but you're not really there for any of it.
I mean, our whole culture just praises the hustle, right? We're taught that being busy equals being important. But today, we're going to flip that idea on its head. We're going to explore this kind of counterintuitive thought that the real key to getting back control and clarity and calm isn't about speeding up. It's about learning how to stop.
So, what's the real cost of living this non-stop life? Let's take a closer look at what actually happens when we're just running on autopilot all the time. When we live without ever hitting the pause button, we pay a pretty steep price. We get stuck in these reactive loops, just having knee-jerk emotional reactions instead of, considered responses. We carry all this tension in our jaws and shoulders without even noticing it's there. We miss the taste of our morning coffee or the feeling of the sun on our skin because our brain is already 3 steps ahead. We basically become strangers to ourselves.
All right, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, it all comes down to a really simple but incredibly powerful practice, the mindful pause.
A mindful pause is, well, it's exactly what it sounds like. This isn't about booking a 2-week vacation or finding an hour to meditate. It's a micro-practice. It's a conscious choice to just stop, even for 30 seconds, and simply notice what's going on right now. It's all about checking in, not checking out.
Now, I want you to think about this idea of the space. When something triggers you, a stressful email, a rude comment, our automatic reaction can happen in a split second. A pause creates a gap, and in that tiny little gap, you get to choose how you show up. That space, that is where your power truly is.
And this slide just highlights that crucial difference, doesn't it? A reaction is emotional, it's impulsive. That's your autopilot talking. Like when you snap back at someone in an argument. A response, on the other hand, is considered and intentional. It's guided by your values, not just your gut feelings. And the pause? The pause is the bridge that gets you from one to the other.
I absolutely love this analogy. Just think about it. All day long, little stressors are pouring into this metaphorical glass of yours. If we never pause to let some of that water out, eventually, it's going to overflow. And that's when we feel overwhelmed or just totally burnt out. Every single tiny pause is an act of self-regulation, keeping that glass from spilling over.
Now, this all sounds really good, I know, but it's not just some nice, feel-good idea. This is based in hard science. This simple practice can physically change your brain. Let's look at how.
And here's the key. Every single time you consciously pause, you are engaging in what's called neuroplasticity, which is just your brain's amazing ability to reorganize itself. You are literally strengthening the neural pathways for calm and weakening the ones for reaction. It's like a workout for your brain, making it more resilient and focused every single time you do it.
And get this is fascinating. Researchers at Google were trying to figure out how to make their AI models more effective. And their solution? You guessed it. They taught the AI to pause before answering.
The results were honestly stunning. By introducing what they called pause tokens, which basically allowed the AI to think before it spoke, its performance on really complex reasoning tasks jumped by up to 18%. It just proves a fundamental point. Better output requires a moment of processing. So if that's true for an AI, imagine its power for our own minds.
So how does this rewiring actually work? Well, research points to 3 huge changes. First, pausing strengthens your prefrontal cortex. Think of that as your brain's CEO, the part responsible for good decisions. Second, it can actually shrink the amygdala, which is basically your brain's panic button, making you less reactive to stress. And third, it activates the part of your nervous system that sends an all-clear signal, telling your body it's safe to relax.
So the real-world impact of all this it's huge. You're essentially upgrading your brain's hardware. You become better equipped to handle challenges, to make thoughtful decisions, and to navigate your day from a place of groundedness and clarity, rather than being tossed around by chaos and stress.
Okay, so we know the why. Now for the fun part, the how. Let's build your personal toolkit for bringing this superpower into your everyday life.
This 7-step sequence is like your emergency brake for when you feel totally triggered. So let's just walk through it. First, notice your body's signals, that tight chest, the clenched jaw. Second, you have to make the conscious choice to pause. Don't let autopilot win. Third, take one long, gentle exhale. This immediately tells your nervous system to calm down. Fourth,
Recognize and name your feelings. Just saying this is anger or I'm feeling anxious creates space. Fifth, accept the discomfort. Don't fight it, just let it be there for a second. Sixth, and this one's key, offer yourself compassion, not criticism. You're human. And finally, number 7, connect to your breath. Just follow it in and out until you feel centered again.
But you don't have to wait for a crisis to use this. The real magic, honestly, happens when you build these small, preventative pauses right into your day. Just link them to habits you already have. Take one deep breath before your first sip of coffee. Pause for 5 seconds before you open that monster of an inbox. When you finish one task, just stretch and reset before diving into the next one. These tiny moments, they really add up. So what's the big payoff when you actually make this a regular practice? It's so much more than just a calmer moment here or there. It's about creating a whole new rhythm for your life.
And this isn't just a personal thing. It has a measurable, real-world impact. Look at this. One case study of a company that brought in a mindfulness program saw a 20% reduction in stress-related absenteeism. Not only that, but they also saw a significant boost in both productivity and how happy their employees were. This simple practice really does create healthier, more effective environments for everyone.
And on a personal level, the benefits are just profound. People who practice this stuff regularly report feeling less frantic, even on their busiest days. They find they can handle tough emotions with a lot more grace. Their sleep gets better, their thinking gets clearer. And they start to actually enjoy the little things again, simply because they're present enough to notice them.
I want you to really let this one sink in for a second. We so often think of rest as something we have to earn after we've been productive enough. But this just reframes the whole thing. Rest, just like pausing, isn't some prize for finishing the race. It's part of the rhythm of a sustainable, healthy, and truly effective life.
So let's be absolutely clear. Pausing is not a sign of weakness or laziness. In our nonstop world, it's a radical act of wisdom. It really is your personal superpower, and it's how you step off the hamster wheel and consciously choose how you experience your life.
In the end, every single pause you take opens up a moment of possibility. It's a moment to choose, to reflect, to respond with real intention. So the question isn't whether you have time to pause, it's what you will discover when you do. What wisdom is waiting for you in that stillness?